Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for March 14th through the 20th. And I have a lot of good stuff here for you. So here's my agenda. I'm going to do a pick a card. I'm going to talk about the equinox, vernal and autumnal, depending on which hemisphere you're in. It will probably lean more towards the vernal because I'm in the northern hemisphere. I'll talk about the goddess of the week, my crystal pick of the week, and my upcoming project where I had 16 volunteers volunteer for me to analyze their charts with Pallas Athena and where she is, since she just moved into Pisces. And she will have a big effect on our emotions and our intuition, our psyche. So the project won't be in this video. That will be a separate video because I'll be analyzing a lot of charts. But I'll talk about Pallas Athena, why she's so important. She's an asteroid. She was a very famous goddess, and how she affects all of us, men and women alike. So let's get started. I'm going to do the pick your own. And hold on. All right, so I want you to go ahead and pick a card, 1 through 6. Here we go. So I don't even know what is under these cards. Totally random. I'm going to pick 6, but I kept looking at 4, because of the lighting was kind of different on that. But then I thought, oh, is that a trick? So go ahead, you can pick as many as you like. And I'm going to read these for you in just a minute. So is it card 1 through 6? Either do it by number or do it visually here. And you get to choose. I'm just going to show you the chart for the equinox. And I'm trying to do something a little different, but I'm not having the easiest of times. Before I show you the chart, we'll talk about the goddess of the week, and I have her right here. And I chose Gaia. I kind of chose her only because it is the equinox. And normally I pick them randomly, but I thought that this was a good choice for the equinox. And Gaia, she's Mother Earth. So things are changing on the earth. And there's a really good picture of her. And so let's get into Gaia and talk about why I chose her. Trying to pause this video, and I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties in the final moments of Mercury retrograde shadow. Here we go. So Gaia, she's Mother Earth. Her empowerment message talks about being grounded, slowing down, remaining present in our body. She's a Greek goddess, Gaia. She was also the mother of Zeus, which I love. And perhaps we have spent too much time in our heads lately. Well, with all this Pisces energy and the Aquarian energy, yes, we will be very much in our heads and our thoughts and our dreams. So Bringing Gaia in at this time really helps us to balance things out by getting grounded. So it's time for us to get into a rhythm, make sure that we have enough sleep, commit to spending more time in nature and eating sustainably with conscious awareness. Gaia, the Earth Mother of all life, invites us to pay attention to our bodies, for we are the creatures of the earth as well as spirit. We are part of the living earth, which is the foundation for all life that has a physical form. What form does our lives take? This is the perfect time to take a closer look to ensure we're happy with the form that we have. We're also asked to examine the foundation on which we are building now. Does it feel solid and stable? Now is the perfect time to focus on stability and security, ensuring that we move forward in a grounded way. The goddess Gaia reminds us that the earth is the playground for conscious manifestation, so be respectful of this truth. Her alignment message speaks to when we scatter our energy or we allow fear to take root, we can become ungrounded or out of touch with our environment. We become disconnected from our true nature as a spiritual being, having a human experience. The need now is for all of us to take a look at the cracks in our foundation of our own life's truth that we've built, because we have built that. So anything that is out of alignment, has a crack in our foundation, it's our own fault. Okay. When even one aspect of our life is out of alignment, it affects everything else. Ground ourselves with Gaia, the Earth Mother. She wants us to enjoy creating the world in which we live in. Our alignment task is to take a fearless inventory of where, how, and with whom how we live our lives. Is our energy draining from the choices we are making? Are we physically exhausted? Do we accept less than our value? Our efforts must now be to repair the foundation of our lives and begin again. We will be so thrilled with the results and wonder why we didn't do it sooner. And the goddess Gaia is supporting us in every move. So I love that. And I just think that that is such a beautiful message for all of us. So coming back to this, and I will post this on Monday-ish, Sunday or Monday, with more meaning for that. And I know you're probably not interested in the vernal equinox chart. So here are the cards. I didn't even look at them. I just kind of almost glanced at them and I said, no, stop. So I have card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what do I want to talk about? The crystal pick of the week. So I chose Seraphonite. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not. It's Serpentine. It is Serpentine. And I have a little blurb up here on my phone that I wanted to read about. The reason why I chose this. So go ahead. I would use any kind of green color for this coming equinox. The reason why I liked Serpentine is because it reminded me of a snake shedding its skin and getting rid of the old so that the new can emerge. So I think that's perfect. I also really, I was kind of looking at the septarian because this always reminds me of a snake, but it's not. So I'm putting that to the side. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, go ahead. You can still use the Serpentine, but also too, the sun will be moving into Aries at the time of the equinox. So The beginning of the equinoxes, whether it's spring or autumn, always marks the very first moment of Aries. It's the first astrological or zodiac sign. The equinox is the official original New Year, before the calendar was changed to January 1st for tax collection purposes. But I also love carnelian for this time, because this is definitely an Aries stone and it gets us going. So let me just read a little excerpt. I know in the spring we have the spring equinox. Beltane and May Day will be coming. Mabon in the southern hemisphere. This is such a great time for us to physically clean every part of our home, no matter which equinox you're in, because we're preparing for that season. So in the spring, things have been closed up in many cases, depending on where you live. Not, if you live somewhere warm where you get to have the windows open all the time, that's great. If not, spring has been coming, and I've had things open up here. If you're going into the winter, then you're getting ready to close things up. You want everything to be as clean as possible because that air will be circulating. I try to open everything up at least once every couple of days, even in the bitter cold winter, just to bring in fresh air. But you want to physically clean everything in your home. Declutter, recycle, sell, or give away unwanted items. Space clear and cleanse your home. And I don't have my sage or my smudge out here with me, of course, right? Take action on your plans and your goals. Ask yourself what is holding you back from your dreams. Clean away dead leaves and twigs in your garden. I don't recommend that, and I'll tell you why. Maybe in the southern hemisphere, but not here. Birds that are wintering over, they depend upon bugs and grubs that will be underneath the leaves and the twigs. And so even though I feed them, it's important to leave some so that, they can go foraging for them during the winter time. People that clean up every little scrap of leaf, you're actually doing nature a disservice. All right. Projects, habits. What projects or habits need to be restarted? And plant any seeds that need to be planted at this time. This could even be, in the fall. I plant a lot of fall bulbs and things that have to sit in the ground and winter, and then they come up in the spring. If it's spring, you're planting your new gardens. And it's a good time to think about relocating, think about where you want to go. But I love that first part where it says physically clean every part of your home, because that is so, so, so important. All right. So I'm going to do these cards, and you know what? I didn't take a picture of the cards singly, so I'm going to have to hold them up, and I'm going to read right from the book just so that I get the best message. I'll give you my message. Now, these cards are for the upcoming new year, and let's see the message that you needed to get. So the first card is Seer, see beyond the current situation. And I really love this. I didn't pick it. Wonder what I got. I didn't even look yet. All right, so these aren't in order. Fantastic. Of course, right? Oh, here we go. So this might take me a minute. All right, the message says, look beyond your current situations, right? Raise your vibration and focus on love. Most indigenous peoples have a seer in the family or tribe. Seers are intelligent and intuitive beings who serve as the direct channels for information on what's occurring now and what is about to unfold. Their energy isn't about predicting our future for you, but showing you how your intentions are creating it. A true seer will help you see that your intentions can change, therefore, so can your future. So, like, that's really pretty amazing because when I do readings, and somebody will say, oh, you know, you saw this. But I think sometimes just making people aware of something that I see kind of changes the trajectory, because we all have free will. But this is really asking you to see beyond your current situations and not be like so micro focused, like see the bigger picture. And also to tap into your own intuition for the answers that you're looking for. So I think that's good. Card number 2 is Protection Guardian. All right, so whoever chose number 2 is getting a boost of protection this year for whatever reason. But it's asking you to drop your shields because you are protected. So if you have walls up and you're not letting people in, it's asking you to drop those shields. So let's see. Protection Guardian. I think they're down at the end. Interesting. All right. Drop your shields. Drop any shields of shame, resistance, and fear that are standing between you and your chances of enjoyment and fun. So that's your message. Number 2s. Know that you don't need to hide who you are, nor the gifts that you have. You were born to shine. We all were. All right, so this is about stepping into who you really are. The Protection Guardian is a feminine version of Archangel Michael. Oh, I love that. She is fierce, protective, yet loving warrior angel who carries an indestructible shield of power and protection and will come to all who call on her. And that's true. So it's kind of like it works the same with Archangel Michael. Like whenever I get into my car, like I always call on him. When I feel dark entities here in my house, especially like when I'm going to sleep, I call on him to wrap, Archangel Michael that is, to wrap his wings around me and protect me while I'm sleeping, because sometimes it's scary, you know, like ghosts tapping you on the shoulder in the middle of the night. But they're usually not friendly ghosts. They're usually like dark, yuck energies. But I think I've been keeping my vibe so high that I really haven't had too many run-ins with anything dark. I notice like the higher I keep my vibration and also keeping myself clean energetically, those things aren't attracted to me any longer, which is good. All right, card number 3, the Knight. Be brave and honest. All right, so let's see what the Knight has to say. Here we go. All right, do the right thing, even if it's not the easiest option. Stand for what you know to be right and true. The knight is a knight in shining armor, dedicated to the crown that his sword defends. In this sense, he is a protector of the Holy Grail, and therefore your spiritual growth and expansion. He represents the warrior in you. Whether you are a male or a female, that energy is within you. His sword and armor show he is courageous and strong. But if you look closely, you will see he has a tear running down his face. See that? I never noticed that before. And I can't see if you can see that, but hopefully you can. He's showing that he's willing to be vulnerable and his love for what he protects stays true. So those of you who had chosen card number 3, you may have to be standing up for yourself or other people's rights. I know that we will be going through humanitarian and civil unrest. You know, it just never seems to end. So if you see somebody being treated unjustly, step up and stand in for them, and always stand up and step in for yourself. All right, card number 4. This is that one that has the light shining on it. So let's see what this is. Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Oh, I love that. So, you know, I do give away a lot for free, and it's always good though if somebody gives some sort of energy exchange when they receive anything. It could just even be the words thank you. That is an energy exchange. Doesn't have to be money or anything physical, but we always have to have some sort of an exchange, otherwise it's one-sided. All right, so the trader, let's see what he's bringing to the table for card number 4. Trader. Oh, I wish I didn't know there was a spirit fox in this deck. Who knows? Maybe it's in there. All right. Exchange energy to create abundance. Make connections and exchange information, talents, or support. The trader brings the lesson and energy of exchange. When he appears, he could represent an opportunity to exchange talents, whatever they may be, in order to expand, or be about the exchange of energies that come from the universe, or both. For example, if you are a creative person or consider yourself creative, when you share your talents, you are giving them. And when you do so, the universe will give you more in order for you to share more. It's a beautiful cycle. The trader also reminds you to be open and honest and act with integrity in all your exchanges, because doing something to get something will only lead to challenges. And that's true. So when you are giving of yourself, it has to be, you know, with no expectation of getting anything in return. If whenever you are doing something, expecting something in return, there will be challenges. And that could even be going to work, you know, just for that paycheck. If you're doing that, you're going to be met with challenges. You have to love what you're doing and be giving of yourself in that way. All right, so card number 5. Ooh, this is great. This is beautiful. It is the sun. So whoever chose card number 5, I wish that would have been me. All right, so where does that card show up? The sun. Of course, I can't find it, right? She-wolf, shield maiden, spirit fox. I don't think I've ever seen spirit fox card. I don't know where the heck this sun. Oh, okay, it would be back here at the end. Here we go. All right, this says enjoy success and happiness. So congratulations to whoever picked card number 5. Know that doors are opening for you. Follow up new projects, ventures, and ideas. Connect with the inner fire that is driving you forward. Love it. The sun has long been associated with the energy of success. It's the most powerful planet in the solar system. Solar referring to the sun. So, of course, when the sun card appears in a reading, it will bring power, success, and light. It brightens up all connections, banishes darkness, brings a sense of youthfulness, and invites you to connect to the energy of joy so that you can be light in spirit and heart. I love it. Congratulations. All right, the final card. Oh, this card's messed up. It is warrior. Okay, so that was my card choice. And it says, be fearless and stand strong. I'm tired of being fearless and standing strong. All right, warrior. Warrior. I am a warrior. That's Public Image Limited. I am a warrior. All right, where are you, warrior? All right, if you chose card number 6, like I did, the message is, don't back down, make your opinions heard. Don't settle for second best. Well, that's how I live my life. A warrior is anyone who is ready and willing to know themselves and do what needs to be done in order to get where they want to be. Hell yes. In this deck, the warrior embodies fierce primal love, the warrior within, the energy you can call on to protect yourself, even if you don't think you love yourself. If you are exposed to a situation that could be harmful or dangerous, the steps you take to protect yourself are, in fact, acts of fierce love. Although the warrior in this card is surrounded by darkness, he is of the light. The warrior within is made of light and has the capacity to shine even more brightly when facing darkness head on. I love it. All right, so that's your card reading. Now I have to get this chart set up, and I'll do the Equinox chart reading, and this will be the chart for no matter where you are in the world. The time will vary, of course. Here in the Philadelphia, United States area, Eastern Standard Time, it will be at 5:37 a.m. on March the 20th, which is a Saturday. I know in Melbourne, Australia, I believe it will be at 8:37 p.m. on March 20th. So you just have to look up. You can Google what time is the equinox. So let's check out this chart. Alrighty. So here's the chart for the exact time of the vernal equinox. And I also have the grid here, so it calculates the aspects that are going on in here, so I can just look at it really easily. But let me just take a quick peek. So the sun will be at 29:59, and where's that moon? Wait a minute, this is not correct. March 20th, 2021, Saturday, 5:37 a.m. Oh yeah, the moon has already moved on. I'm thinking about the new moon that is coming up in Pisces. So this is correct. So it's just a second right before it goes 0 degrees of Aries. So this is just a slightly off. Wait, I can animate this chart and move it ahead by just a minute. Let's move it ahead a minute. There we go. There we go. So I just needed to adjust this a little bit. All right. So the sun is in the first house, depending on which house system you are using. I'm using Placidus here now. And so it will be in the first house. So that says to me, not only is Aries about the I am and putting the self first, this is in the first house. And so it is about putting ourselves first. Now we do have a ton of Pisces energy. We also have a ton of Aquarius energy. The South Node up here on the midheaven is very telling, especially with the North Node in Gemini at 14 degrees. I want to point out that my North Node and my Sun are both 13 degrees of Gemini. So this is going to be huge here for me personally. And my moon is 16 degrees of Leo, but the moon will be 16 degrees of Gemini. So that will be sextiling my moon. So that's going to be huge for me. But let's look at this as a whole for everyone. The first thing that I noticed here is that Mercury will be squaring Mars. So we have Mars in Gemini here. It's in the fourth house, right next to that North Node. So North Node is where we're pointing to. With it being the fourth house, I think there's a big highlight on the home and the family, kind of like what I have been seeing leading up to the pandemic. So there's still going to be more focus on being in the home, you know, moving home, relocating, sprucing up the home, cleaning the home, and just spending more time at home. We're trying to find those values out that we used to put outside of the home. We're bringing them back in. So you can see the opposition between the North Node, where we need to be pointing, and the South Node, what we need to be leaving behind in the 10th house. That's, you know, corporate America. I'm not saying that we don't have to work, but I think we'll be working. We're going to continue working from home this year. I think a lot of companies saw how it was working. But what we're paying attention to right now is, all right, where's Mercury? So Mercury is in Pisces, and it is squaring Mars in Gemini. So Mars in Gemini, he's a wise ass, and he's got a sharp tongue. He wants to do things fast. He's a fast talker. No, I don't have Mars in Gemini. I have most of my chart in Gemini, but my Mars is in Virgo. So you would think that I would be more articulate or, you know, perfect with my words. Well, no, because my communicator Mercury is in Gemini. So yeah, that's why I'm like, da, 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 da. With those two squaring, I would think that we're still, Mercury in Pisces, it's things that are hidden in the shadows that are secret, and Mars is telling on everybody. That's what I think. I think we're going to have we're still going to have a lot of shocking news. Things that are hidden in the shadows are going to be coming out this year. And Mars is a tattletale. You know, he's just going to be telling everybody's business. Mercury in Pisces wants to keep those things secret. Mars is like, nope, not happening. It's not happening. So I see that. What else is prominent for me besides the North Node and the South Node, what their positions are? I like part of fortune up here in the 7th house, because it's right on the cusp of Libra. So this is really nice. The part of fortune moving into Libra, so that would be about balance. Now, Libra typically rules the 7th house, and that is all about the relationships in our lives. And it's the relationship to everything. You know, like I even talk about my relationship to coffee. So we really are looking at our relationships to everyone and everything in our lives. And when we discard the things that are off balance, that is when the fortune comes. So I love that. Now here we have Vesta. She is retrograde. Vesta is the goddess of home and hearth, and she's in Virgo. I will be exploring her at some point in time. You know, after I do Palace and Ceres and, you know, some of the other goddesses. But so she's retaking a look also at her relationships, especially when it comes to how it's affecting her in the home. And, you know, things with Virgo, I would say that she's looking at, you know, her daily routine. She's looking at work versus the home. So yeah, and how her relationships, how she's relating to everything. Leo in the 6th house tells me that we have to play a little bit more, especially in our daily routines and our work, interesting that we have Cancer in the 5th house. So it's like bringing that romance and creativity and love back into the home. Let's see, what else do we have here? Jupiter is, I think that's Jupiter trining the moon. So where are you? Yep. So Jupiter trines the moon. That would say to me that our emotions are expanding. We're getting more in touch with our emotions. Now, it's interesting because Jupiter is in Aquarius, which is very attached from emotion. And the moon is in Gemini, which is like of two minds. But also, they're both air signs. So they're all up in their head. They're not so much emotional. But I still think that this could be a good opportunity for us to all really tap into and expand on our emotions. We also have Saturn is trining the moon. So it's like Saturn wants to make setting up the rules, and Gemini has to think about it for a little bit. You know, like, where are they going to be flexible? They really have to tap into, this is Gemini North Node, but this is for all of us, not just Geminis. This is all of us. Don't just accept what people's rules are that are being laid out. Really tap into your heart and, like, does it resonate with you? I think these angels and ancestor cards that I picked said that a lot, that we really have to stand up for ourselves and, you know, put ourselves first. And that's what I'm seeing here with this sun being in the 1st house. Also, Saturn is trining Mars. So, you know, it's interesting. I think Saturn's going to be egging Mars on to tell these secrets that are hidden, so that he can come in and lay some new foundation. That's what I kind of think that is about. Let's see, Uranus is squaring Saturn almost all year. This is old versus new. Uranus in Taurus, where are you? Right here. Finally moving to 8 degrees. He was at 7 degrees forever. So decisions are going to be made. It's a time for decisions. And Saturn is all about manifesting. So it's interesting because Saturn wants to hold on to the old and Uranus wants to bring in the new. This could be repurposing some of the old into the new, but decisions are being made. So maybe not so much a blow up, but Uranus is deciding, hey, which direction do I want to go in? I also want to point out with this North Node at 14, it's about loving yourself and finding your place and where you belong. That's definitely what the theme here is. Anything else? Chiron. I'm really only looking at opposition, squares, and trines. So Pluto is squaring Mars. So Pluto is death, endings, beginnings, and transformations. And it's saying he's squaring. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I think he's trining Mars, but I don't know. Maybe this calculation is wrong, or maybe I'm not seeing it correctly. But Pluto is also coming into the mix, and I think he's going to have a little talk with Mars and say, you know what, you got to put an end to all this slander. So we might be hearing something about that, or any kind of false or fake news. Pluto's going to come in and put an end to that. Chiron, well, you know, he's just hanging out here in Aries. So we're working on the wounds of ourselves. there's Vesta, there's Pallas, who I'll be talking about in the next video. This is Juno. So Juno, you know, she supposedly the bitter wife, but I'm going to dispel that in another video. Juno, bitter wife, squaring Uranus. So she wants some change when it comes to the home. And it's like, oh, divorce. I want my alimony, and I want half of the property. And then here she is also squaring Neptune. It's like those dreams and secrets finally coming out. So relationships are playing a really big role this year. That's kind of really all that I have. So our status in the world, midheaven opposing the moon. So emotions really tapping into who are we in this world? How do people see me? I think we could be changing that. I'm not going to talk about Vulcan. This particular chart is putting Vulcan in the chart. I don't know how to read Vulcan yet. Midheaven squaring Mercury. All right, so the midheaven, you know, and that's a lot of times it's our career, but it's how people know us by in the world. The midheaven, Mercury's having a conversation with that midheaven. They're kind of going toe to toe. It's in Sagittarius. So like, you know, there needs to be some expansion, but Pisces is like, oh, you know, I don't know if you should, you know, go out and branch out into the world. I think this Mercury in Pisces talking to the midheaven in Sagittarius is trying to instill fear in us to stay our same small selves. I think that may be the conversation. What else? We also have midheaven opposing Mars. So it's like we're fighting for our rights to stay home, fighting for our rights to continue to work from home or be at home, or, you know, like have some hybrid form of home versus like needing to be back in the office and be back out and into public. Although a lot of you may want to do that, but I prefer working right from my home. Now, I had to go into my office today, but that was my choice because I had to get something done. But I still like to have that opportunity of being able to stay home. We could also be leaving situations that don't serve us anymore, moving and changing home, relocating, moving to something that is more pleasant. What else do we have? And then, of course, midheaven squaring Vesta. Once again, home and hearth versus corporate world, you know, status in the world, you know, labels of who you are really don't mean anything because it all begins in here. If you're not good in here, then you're not good here, even though you may think that. We also have midheaven squaring or opposing the North Node. So while I talked about that earlier, you know, home versus out in the public, and then the trines. So midheaven trining Chiron, you know, having to deal with our personal wounds about ourselves and how people see us out in the world. And then also midheaven trining Vulcan. Oh, I already said I'm not going to talk about that. So that's my crazy interpretation of the equinox chart. And I guess that's it. So I hope you liked your pick a card. I hope you like the goddess of the week. Stay tuned for my Pallas in all the astrological signs, and I'll be reading charts for the 11 people that volunteered and talking about how Pallas Athena affects each zodiac sign and or house that she's in. And I will also show you how you can find your own Pallas Athena in your chart so you could see how you are going to step forward as the grand warrior that I know you all are, and really step into your own this year, especially with the equinoxes, the new year coming up. So I guess that's it. Subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, give me some thumbs up, comment me. I will respond to you. Check me out at expressionsoftheuniverse.com, on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that is it. Take care, have a good day, and I will see you soon. And I can't see what I'm doing. Yes, I do want to stop the recording.